Hi, welcome to another StudioX video, and today we are going to see how to connect your Gmail account with StudioX for the automation. So today we are going to see how to connect the Gmail account using the OAuth authentication type, or you can see using the client ID and the secret credentials, or you can also see using the Gmail APIs. So these three means the same. So this is what we are going to see. So go to the mail card and use the Gmail resource. Now you can see there are options to select the account or add new account. So choose add new account. You'll get a pop-up. Now you can see authentication type as default or my ID and secret. This is what we are going to use. So client ID and secret is what we have to create the credentials for which you should have the Google Cloud Platform account, right? So to go to a Google Cloud Platform account, browse to URL called console.developers.google.com. So make sure your GCP or Google Cloud Platform account is already created. Now, once you go, a dashboard screen will be opened, and you can see at the top of the screen, this will be your project in which you are currently in. So we want to create a new project. So click on create new project and name it as UiPath StudioX robot. Done. Now the location, you can leave no organization as it is because this is a personal account. Now you can see the project StudioX, UiPath StudioX robot has been successfully created, right? Now, next thing we have to do is click on the enable APIs and services. Make sure you are inside the UiPath StudioX robot project, which we have recently created. So this is my previous project and this is my current project. So make sure that you choose your current project, otherwise that will be an issue later. Now we are into our current project, recent project that we want to use, right? Now you are at the dashboard, click on the enable APIs and services. Now what happens in the Google Cloud Platform is it has all the APIs collection. If you want to connect with any Google API, for example, Google Maps, Google Translator, or even Gmail. So this time we will be using the Gmail API. Now what Gmail APIs helps you to is to connect to your Gmail account, not through the front end. So front end is when you open the Gmail and enter your user ID and password, but this will help you to connect with a Gmail account from the backend. Backend means you will be having the API's credentials, which means the client ID and secret. And these two values, if you use inside your UiPath StudioX project, you can anytime connect with your Gmail account without going and logging into your Gmail account through a browser or doing the front end login. This will help you to do the backend login. So this is what the Google Cloud Platform helps you to achieve using the APIs, right? So go and search for the Gmail API. So there you go. Gmail API. So the Gmail API. Once you get this, click on the enable button. This will enable the Gmail API for this particular project, right? Now, once it is enabled, you will see we are inside the API and services for the Gmail API and our project is correct. Make sure this never changes and you are into your current project, okay? Now, the next thing that we have to do is go to the credentials section. Now, once you go to credentials section, you can see there are no credentials as of now. Click on create credentials and OAuth client ID is what you have to create. So these are your secret ID and you can say kind of ID in the password. So you should not be sharing it with anyone. So yeah, before you create your credentials, what you have to do is configure the consent screen. So whenever the StudioX try to access your Gmail account, you will have to provide your consent that you agree that this particular app can access your Gmail account. Once only you give your consent, the StudioX will be able to further get connection with the Gmail account. So let's configure this consent screen. Click on that particular button. Now choose the external because we will be using a personal Gmail account. Then click on the create button. Once you click on the create button, now you can see further app information. So you can say UiPath StudioX app, right? For users to contact you with the questions about their consent. So again, you can mention your Gmail account here. So again, so this will take your Gmail account with which you have the Google Cloud Platform account. So, right. So this choose your Gmail account, then app logo you can leave as it is. Now app domain, again, there's nothing mandatory you have to fill. Authorized domains, nothing again. Developer contact information is what you have to give. So this could be your any other Gmail account. So mention your Gmail account. So this is for the developer contact information for the app that wants to access your Gmail, right? So click on the save and continue button. So as you can see, the first one is done. Next is we have to define the scope. Okay, so we do not have to do any changes here. You can just click on the save and continue button. Now, while publishing the status to testing, only test users are able to access this app. Okay, now this particular app that you are creating is in the testing phase. Then you have to add a test user, but we don't need this as of now because we will be directly publishing it as a production app. Okay, so we do not have to do any add users or something, so we can leave it as it is again. Then click on the save and continue button. So this is your summary, right? So you do not have to do anything again. We are all okay. Click on back to dashboard. Now there you go. Now right now it is in the testing phase, as I said. So now if you do not click on the publish app button, so only people who were added in the testing part, which we saw add test users, can only able to access this app. But if we publish it, then we all can access. So push to production, then click on the confirm button. So make sure you publish your app. Now once you are done with this, now there you go. You have created the consent screen for your OAuth authentication. Now go back to the credentials page again, and then click on the create credentials and again choose the OAuth client ID. Once you choose this, now you can see you do not have the option now to create the consent screen because you have done that. Now choose the application type that will be accessing your Gmail account. So this is a desktop app because UiPath StudioX is a desktop app. Now the name of the app is UiPath StudioX. So there we go. Then click on the create button. Once you click on the create button, and you can see OAuth client ID is created. Your client ID is this and your client secret is this. So copy your client ID and go back to UiPath StudioX, copy into the client ID section. And then again, go back to your Gmail API, your client secret, click on the copy and go back to StudioX again and there paste the client secret and click on the OK button. Now it will ask you to sign in with the Gmail account. So click and choose your Gmail account with which you want to access the StudioX app or you configure the StudioX app. So click on the advanced button. Go to UiPath StudioX app, which is unsafe, no issues. Click on this. Now it will ask few permissions from the UiPath StudioX to your Gmail account. So the StudioX is actually asking to grant permissions from your Gmail account so that it can read your emails, it can send calendar invites, it can reply to emails. So click on the allow button, again click on the allow button, then you will get a consent screen. Finally, not the consent, you can see a confirmation screen that the StudioX app. Remember, this is what we gave the name. The UiPath StudioX app is what is trying to access these information. So click on the allow button again. So once you click on received verification code and you may now close this window. So now we have successfully configured our Gmail account with the UiPath StudioX. Now the identified of your account profile could not be verified with Google. Ask your admin for people API of the project. No issues, click on
Okay, so let us try again. Click on add new account and choose my ID and secret. Client ID is what we are going to get now. So go to the credentials again, UiPath StudioX, and you can see your client ID here. Copy it. So paste it inside the client ID field. Then go back here again and client secret. Copy it and go back and paste it in the client secret. Click on the OK button. Then it will ask you to sign in, choose the Gmail account. Once you choose the Gmail account, again, the consent screen will come. Give your consent and go to the StudioX app. Then give the permissions. Once you give the permissions, this is the final confirmation. Click on the allow button, receive verification code. You may now close the window. Now, if you go back, the same error is coming. The identity of your account profile could not be verified with Google. Ask your admin to enable the People API for your project. So let's try this. Go back to our GCP and there we go. And let's go to the dashboard and we welcome to the library. Into the library, it was the People API, right? So let's search for the People API. And Google People API, right? So choose this one and let's try enabling this if it works. And it may take a while again. Yes, the People API is now also enabled, right? So here we go. Now let's go back and try the same thing again. Go to your StudioX robot project. And there we go. Now we have to go to your APIs and services dashboard. Go to the credentials. UiPath StudioX credentials. Again, try copying the same. Add new account. My ID, which is a client ID. Then there you go, client secret, copy, paste, click on the OK button. Then again, it will ask you to choose the Gmail account. Done. Then go to the StudioX app, give your confirmation again. And there you go. Receive verification code. And yeah, we have done it. So we have now connected with a Gmail account now. So it is giving you this as one because this one I connected with the default mode and this is with the OAuth authentication type or using the client ID and secret option. So now you can send or receive emails and yeah, you can do all kind of automations using your this Gmail account. Right. So if you want to make sure, then let's try sending an email. And let me send to myself to another account. And click on the save button and subject could be testing. And do not save it as a draft. So done. Let's click on the run button and see what happens. So let the bot start. It has started. You can see the running here. And this is the Outlook. And let's see if we get anything in the inbox. Okay, now it's running. You can see, and the last one successful. Let me go back to Gmail, and there we go. We have received an email from the Gmail account. So that's how you can connect your Gmail from the StudioX by configuring the Gmail API credentials in your Google Cloud platform and using the client ID and secret from there. So that's all for today. Thank you so much.